Hi babies, and welcome back to Thursday's episode. Yeah, you got it. This is the second episode of the week coming to you nice and hot. The first episode of the week was all about anal and the top 5 tips that I brought to you guys on how to make it a little bit easier and less painful. So now we're gonna talk about the tips of how to prepare for booty hole sex, okay? But first, before we get started, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I am Miranda, aka Pleasurebhabiee, and this is where we help you step and walk right into your pleasure by covering all those taboo topics every single Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so that you never miss a video. Okay, let's get started. Step number 1. We all want to cover the whole feces. Yes, the shit, the poo, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to call it the feces because that's kind of where everyone's fear lies. Is, oh my God, what if I shit on their dick? Oh my God, what if I have some massive explosion? Well, you're not going to have a massive explosion, not unless you F up one of these steps and you don't follow them. But that's why you're here. You're here to follow these steps. Now, the first one I want to talk to you about is going to be the enema. Now, don't be intimidated because other things are about to go inside of you too. So if you're intimidated by the enema, then I mean, this probably just is not meant for you, or maybe you're just not there yet. So what an enema looks like is you can either get like a large syringe, or you can actually get one that looks like a water balloon with a little bit of a tube and a tunnel that will insert into your anus. That gets filled with filtered water. You don't want to be putting tap water. It is filtered water. You put it up in there, you sit on the toilet, you let it sit in there for 15, 20 seconds, and then you push out. And you repeat that step 2 to 3 times. This ensures that your bowel is as clean as it possibly can be so that there's no fecal matter coming out at any point. Obviously, there is still room for air. So make sure when you're using the enema, you do it between 2 to 3 hours before you're about to partake in anal sex. This is specifically because water can get trapped in the folds of the rectum and can also take a little bit of time to work its way out. So make sure you stay near a bathroom until it does. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to tell you, make sure you lube that nozzle before you insert it, or it's not gonna feel really pleasant. And once you're done with your enema, you wash it in some mild soap, and then you set it aside for the next time you decide to do some play. Number 2 is your diet. Now, I am a firm believer in a healthy diet every single day, but if this is something that you're not used to, maybe you eat out all the time, maybe you like high fatty foods, whatever it might be, for these 2 days, 2 to 3 days, you are going to be eating clean and very, very high in fiber foods. You also want to incorporate, obviously, a large amount of protein too. So protein is going to harden up the stool, and then the fiber that you get from your legumes and your vegetables is going to soften the feces so that you can actually get it out. So yeah, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and nuts, those are all excellent sources of fiber. If you don't want to eat some of those things, you can always use the store-bought fiber, which is a Metamucil, I believe, but there's a couple other different brands out there too. But make sure you get adequate amount of protein and adequate amount of fiber. Number 3 is going to be make sure you are hydrated. Okay, so that doesn't mean pounding back 5 things of coffee a day, everything caffeinated, pre-workout, tea, energy drinks, pop or soda, whatever you want to call it, or even excessive amounts of alcohol. These are all things that can give you the runs. Or it could dry you right up and then you could be constipated. And nobody wants to be constipated while receiving anal. No. Number 4 is going to be buy yourself some butt plugs. Buy yourself a beginner set where you have small, medium, large, extra large, okay? And you can always work your way up or just have a sense of what that feels like inside of you. So remember, lots of lube and push out while you're pushing in. You can also do this with a partner, but I always recommend trying it by yourself first because there's nobody who you are ever gonna trust more other than you. And also, weird things happen when you're trying things out for the first time. So, I mean, let's just keep that weird to us And then when you're ready to have another weird moment, that's when you bring your partner in. But until then, put the butt plug in by yourself, try some solo play with anal, and see if you like it. Work out your kinks that you aren't sure that you want other people to see. Or ease your mind. Make sure there's no feces coming out. Make sure it's not screaming in agony pain. It seems to be better if you just practice on yourself first. I cannot stress that enough. But when you have that booty plug, honestly, one of my biggest recommendations is wearing it a couple of hours before you go to your appointment of anal sex. That way, when you get a little bit risky and freaky, you pull it out and it's very easy for something else to slide in because the sphincter is already dilated. That is a golden nugget. Do not forget that tip because it's so good. Number 5 is going to be having a towel down because things happen and you don't want any type of mess happening on your sheets or on your mattress. I mean, we've all been there where we've made a real big mess and then we are flipping the whole bed and we are throwing everything in the wash. However, with anal, it can be a little bit more messy per se. So having a towel down acting as a barrier for your bed so whatever liquids come out aren't really a big deal. Now the last one, number 6. This one is very, very important and I did cover it in my last one. It's almost as important as communication, but communication and consent will always have the number 1 spot. However, condoms are essential. Unless you're in a monogamous relationship where you know your partner is STD or STI free, then please, please, please have sex with a condom on, whatever that is, anal or vaginal. Just make sure you protect yourself because STDs are a very real thing and some of them are harder to cure or in fact incurable. Plus on top of that, it makes it for an easier transition if you are going to do anal and then finish with vaginal penetration. That way you would take off the condom and then you would do a little bit of a wash up and then you would go in rather than having to take a full blown shower right away in the middle of this before you switch. You can do it all the way at the end as part of aftercare. But remember, it goes vaginal to anal, not anal to vaginal. Remember that, okay? I cannot stress that enough, okay? That means your fingers. If your fingers went in my booty hole, then they're definitely not entering my vagina because that is a realm of infection that I personally don't want to encounter. And it's almost 100% guaranteed that there's gonna be an infection that arises. And we are not here for that at all. All right, but those are my tips for you guys on how to prep for anal sex. Now, in Monday's episode, we're gonna talk about anal positions, the best positions to get into, and it's not just doggy, okay? So if you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to follow my socials, especially my Instagram, because it's poppin'. Just kidding. I mean, I just post a lot of stories. But I would love it if you come tag along and you follow me on my journey. Anyways, babies, I will see you on Monday. Cheers.